Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's topic is rational exponents. And the word rational just means an exponent. We're going to be looking at exponents that are fractions. All right, so a little bit of review. You already know, for example, that 2 to the fourth, which is not a rational exponent, that's just a whole number, is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, right? Which is 2, 4, 8, 16. Okay, but what if I said to you, what is 16 to the 1/4? Okay, what would that be equal to? Well, the rule is that if you have x to the exponent of m over n, okay, that would be equal to the root sign of x to the m, and then the little n would be written in the front. Okay, so we're going to use the same kind of idea here. So you make your root sign, and underneath you would have 16 to the 1, and then the little 4 would get written in the front. Okay, what that means is you're trying to think of a number, and that number is going to get multiplied by itself 4 times. 4 times because we have a little 4 in the front, okay? And whatever this whatever this number is, when you multiply it by itself 4 times, the whole thing has to be equal to 16. Okay, so what is that number? What number do you multiply by itself 4 times to give you 16? Well, that number would be 2. Okay, so that means that this is equal to 2. Okay, 16 raised to the power of 1/4 is equal to 2. I'm just going to erase that. There we go. This is what's happening here. Like this part here is what is just going on in your head. This is what you're thinking to come up with the answer. Let's do another example. Okay, so let's say I'd like you to work out what 27 to the 1/3 is. Okay, so you're thinking of a number that you're going to multiply by itself 3 times because there's a little 3 at the bottom, and that has to equal 27. Okay, and this is how we would write it. So what number do you multiply by itself 3 times? 3 times 3 times 3 gives us 27, so the answer has to be 3. Okay, how about 8 to the 2/3? So now we have another number at the top, and it's not just a 1. Okay, so that means we're going to say cube root of 8. Okay, and then that 8 will get squared. Okay, I can write that 2 on the outside like that. The other way, kind of like I wrote on the previous page. On the previous page, I put that top number on the inside right here. You can do that as well over here. All right, so you could also write this as squared and then cube root. Okay, so both ways are accurate. So what number do you multiply by itself 3 times to give you 8? Well, that would be 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, and then it gets squared at the end. That gives me 4. If I use this method here, right, then I would say 8 squared first, which is 64. And then I take the cube root. So now that I have 64, what number do I multiply by itself 3 times for the answer to be 64? Well, that would be 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, so both methods are going to give me the same answer. Let's do one more. Okay, how about -8 to the 4/3? So let's rewrite it. So my root sign, which has a -8 underneath it, and a little 3, and then the 4 I'm going to write on the outside. All right, so now I'm trying to think of a number that I multiply by itself. This is what's going on in my head. So a number that's being multiplied by itself 3 times, and the answer has to equal -8. Okay, this is what's going on in your head. Well, that number would be -2 times -2 times -2, right? That equals -8. Okay, so this is equal to -2, and then I have to raise that to the power of 4. Okay, so, and that means -2 times -2 times -2 times -2, and that is equal to 16. All right, so those are your examples. For homework, I would like you to try the questions on D4-4, and you have this file in your in Google Classroom. I'm going to post it there. And you're going to go all the way down to number 6. Try all the questions, please. The answers are at the bottom, which means that I'm going to ask you to show work, okay, just like I did in the examples that I did above. All right, have a fantastic day, and check in on Google Classroom if you have any questions. See you later, guys.